I'm Patrick Bailey with iQlist.com. Today is March 12th, 2020, and in this video I'm going to be showing off this giant skeletal wyvern that was designed by Rocket Pig Games. I'm just calling it a bone dragon. I know it's a wyvern, not a dragon, but I think bone dragon sounds cooler. I recently did a video printing out some miniatures on my Prusa Mini. One of the ones I printed out was the skeletal wyvern, but I printed them out at 30%, and I also printed them out 0.05 millimeter layers, but I did print them with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Now I do intend to at some point do a video where I swap out the nozzle to a smaller nozzle, a 0.25, and then see how good a design I can get. But that's later. But for now, we're doing this skeletal wyvern. Here it is. It's one place to get it. I don't know if you can get it directly from them, but the place I got it was at My Mini Factory. I'll put a link in the show notes, and it costs $9.99 to download. So keep that in mind. But it is really cool. So with that, let's go over how I prepped the files. Okay, now when I downloaded this from My Mini Factory, they gave me 4 STL files. There's a whole, which is the entire thing printed as one piece. Yes. And then there's one that's printed in 3 pieces that I'll show that comes apart. That has the final is the body. And the head, of course, is the head. And there's a peg, which is just a tiny little piece to help you attach the two of them. So I did all of them. And I did them on my Prusa Mini and on my i3 Mark III. So what I did, we'll just show you. I'll take the whole one, drop it in here on my Prusa, on my slicer. And I got my Prusa Mini. Now, what I like to do is I like to have things facing me when they print. So I'll turn them around here real quick. So there he is. The nice thing, he's all green. I don't have to change his size. He fits just fine. And that's how I printed this guy. So here, there's that guy. Now what I did to prep him, I did at 0.15 millimeter quality, which is what I'm kind of shooting for now. And then just slice him, print him out, and he worked really well. Now, with the other one though, that comes in several pieces, what I want to do is try to get as big as I could, which is not really much bigger on the Prusa Mini. Or on the i3 Mark III for that matter. So I just took the final one, dragged him in here, which should be headless. And then bring him around, bump. And then what I try to do is you can right click on anything on here, and go to scale to print volume, which will make it as big as it can. Or if it's too big, it'll shrink it down to a size that'll actually fit. So I did that, which actually, this one is too big. You can see it's not green, it's blue here. So if I right click, I need to shrink it. Scale to print volume, there we go. And we can see I'm at 90%. So what I did is I tried to max that out. I thought I did 95%. Oh, no, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Scale factor, so 95.82. I changed it to 95 just to make my numbers more round and simple. And did the same thing, 0.15, prepped it, print it. And that way I took that one out and I want to do the head. And the head needs to be the same percentage size if I'm changing the size. And same thing, I like to make it face me. There we go. And then 95%, shrink it. Now with this, just to make sure it stays on the bed, I usually don't like doing this unless there's a good reason. I don't like putting brims on, but in this case there's a good reason. So hit the brim button here, and then I'll have to render this, I guess. 0.15, slice it. And for those who don't know what brims are, it's going to make like a little hat around it, if you will. At the bottom, it puts a brim around here. So it actually has some more material here that helps it adhere to the bed. So in case there's not enough surface, that's a really good idea to do. And I would, in this case, it's perfect use of it, you know. And so that printed out just fine. Also, let me get out of here and switch this to the Prusa i3 Mark III. Now the Prusa i3 Mark III, I decided to get printed in 3 parts as big as I could. And so I did drag the final in here. And again, I like to make it face me. And then, same thing, I can right click on this and say scale to print volume, which increases it to 111. I dropped that to 110 just so it's easy to remember. And then I did the same thing. Then, I did it at 0.15 and prepped it all and printed it. Did the same thing with the head and put a brim on it. Now the thing to consider, and I'll show this in a minute, is whether or not you want to do it in 3 pieces, because size is not so much of a factor here. Because if I take this one, I take the whole one and drop it in, which might take a second because there's more stuff here. Turn around and scale to print, make them as big as I can, right? Now the full one, you'll see, is darn close to the same size. So it looks like you're not really getting any size benefit because, you know, these wings are so high and his head is not much higher than the wings. So you're not getting much size benefit. But what I will show you is the head. Let me remove one of these real quick. So you see that head if I do a full one versus just doing the head by itself. The head is at a different angle if you do it by itself. And that gives you a little bit of advantage because right now, see, this head is more flat. And so I'll show some pictures here. And so the underneath of his chin is a little messed up because it's barely a slope. So if you're a stickler for detail, you'd want to do it in 3 parts, not for the size, but the fact that you can get a much better detail underneath his chin. Anyway, so that's how I prepped him. Now let me go over all the numbers. Okay, going one by one. So if you, on the Prusa Mini, the full size, no size adjustments, and there's no 3-piece, so one single piece, it took 1 day, 1 hour, and 29 minutes to print. It takes 0.154 cents for electricity. Sorry, 15.4 cents for electricity. And it weighs 0.0158 kilograms. So at $20 per kilogram, this comes to $3.16 worth of material. You add that all together, you get $3.32 to print this guy. And I think that's quite a bargain. Also, for size-wise, his base measures about 5 inches across. And from bottom to the tip of his horn here is roughly about 7 inches. Now, the take-apart one, which has the base and the head, and it also prints out a little tiny piece that I keep dropping. There's a little tiny peg that helps you fit it in here. And so if you look at here, and I'll show some better video in a second, there's a little tiny hole the peg goes in. But right now his head's actually fitting on there pretty good. But at some point I'll glue them all together. But the 3-piece here, takes 2 hours, well, the head takes 2 hours and 13 minutes to print. And it takes 0.015 cents for electricity, and it weighs 0.08 kilograms. So that comes out to 16 cents worth of material. Total price on the little head is 18 cents. Now for the body takes 1 day, 1 hour, and... Oh wait, I'm in the wrong section. Nope. No, that's right. So it takes 1 day, 1 hour, and 33 minutes to print. It takes 15.3 cents worth of electricity. And it weighs 0.162 kilograms, so that comes out to $3.24 of material. So the total cost on this is $3.40 to print in total. And the super total for putting all this together is $3.58. So still, not much difference. And not much difference in size. We'll show you. They're pretty close. His base measures 5¼ inch versus 5 inch. And his height is about 7½ inch versus 7 inch. So not much difference. Also, on to the next guy. This guy, the big one I did on the Prusa i3 Mark III. I don't have a time lapse of this one. Also, I don't have an extra power unit while I did this, so I'm not sure how much power it took exactly. So I'll just guesstimate. In total, this took 3 hours and 12 minutes to print for the head, and it took about 0.01 kilograms, and that comes out to about 20 cents just for the head to print that guy out. Plus, you throw in some electricity. Now for the body, this took 1 day and 15 hours and 10 minutes. And again, I don't know electricity, but it weighs 0.246 kilograms. At $20 per kilogram, that comes out to $4.92. So the total on the body, once you add it all together and you throw a little bit of cost for electricity and a fudge factor, this guy cost about $5.50 to print. So it's $5.50 versus $3.82. And if I can get his head to stay on for a second, there is this, you can tell there's a decent size difference. So now with that, let me go get some better camera angles and kind of show these guys off. Okay, so here is the first one that was printed whole. He's not separate pieces. And so we can kind of zoom in and see different things. Okay, I'm going to work. I need to print a turntable out. Someone suggested that last time and sent me one.
We have one.
We have one?
It's in the closet.
Okay.
Go get it.
I have to go get it now.
Yeah, go grab it.
Hey, look, I have something. I didn't know we had a lazy Susan around.
We do.
It's not going to stop me from 3D printing
Don't
one,
call
though.
me Susan.
Uh-huh. See, now we can get him in the center, right? But I'm pretty impressed. You know, 0.4 millimeter nozzle, which is the standard nozzle. That's what comes with the Prusa Mini. And it's looking pretty good. If you do some close-ups, I'm pretty impressed with how they did. Now, the only thing that's a nit is underneath his chin. Because it's such a severe angle.
Okay, yeah, move your finger.
Oh.
I'm not going to be able to get that with the light. I need the light to shine on it. I'll get a shadow.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. It's not bad. But in a second I'll show you the other one and we can show the difference between the two. If you were a stickler, I might do the 3-piece, but there's really, other than that, you know, and here's the 3-piece, so his head comes off. I just haven't glued him yet. Be like QVC selling jewelry. You just have to look at it all.
QVC doesn't do it this.
They don't? Well, whoever sells jewelry. Old turntable. And this was printed on the Prusa Mini too, but he is slightly bigger, but not by much. Now, if I show the two of him, if I do this, you look at their chins.
Oh.
So you can see that makes a difference. And so, you know, it's not too...
Point out which one is 1 piece and which one
Well,
is 2.
the one I'm holding in my left hand is the 1 piece.
Okay.
And the one on the right, so you can see... Okay. And there's the big Mama Jama, which again, I printed in 3 pieces, but I could print as 1 piece and it would be it'd be the same size. But it just gives me that little detail underneath the chin, which is, you know... Normally I don't like gluing 3D prints together, but this is well done. This is not a big deal to me. It looks really cool. And as for the wisp, there's a few wisp on there. I should probably do a video on that. You just got to hit it with a heat gun, and you can get those wisp off real quick.
Go around one more time. Go around one more time.
Okay. Now also, I've taken a couple of screenshots. I put them on Instagram. So if anybody, there's some things there. You might see some more detailed pictures. Or if anyone wants some detailed pictures, just post a note. I could probably throw a few up on Instagram or something.
Okay.
But there they are. I'm pretty impressed. I am definitely going to go buy some more models from these Rocket Pig guys. They're doing a real good job. And I'm not even a tabletop camera. I just think they're cool. Thanks for watching. This was a really fun one, making these giant bone dragons. They're a lot of fun. They're really cool. I've already given a couple of them away. Smaller ones, and I got a couple big ones I got to give to some other people. They're just kind of fun. But now I do need to glue it together. And honestly, if I have glued a 3D print together, I don't remember doing it. I was going to go use super glue, but then looking around, it looks like people are using super glue with some baking soda. If anybody's out there who's done a lot of gluing on their 3D prints with PLA, hey, post some comments. Tell me which way to go. I'll give it a day or two. And if there's a couple comments, I'll try to follow them. But otherwise, I might just try this baking soda and super glue. Anyway, this was a fun video to make. Hope you guys like it.